And joining us in the studio right now, Margaret Romero, candidate for Key West Mayor. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning, Bill, Chuck, and everyone who's listening.
Welcome back to the Morning Magazine campaign. Less than a week away from the election. It may end there. It may go on to November. But either way, you'll be ready?
I will be ready. As always, prepared.
It's been an interesting campaign, up and down, a lot of different issues out there. Are there any particular issues that you think have been distorted a bit, either in translation or whatever, that you'd like to address particularly?
Well, I think there are a couple of things, Bill. I think that we've seen a slide over at City Hall. Our own city attorney said there's been a downward spiral, but yet we hear others say everything is just fine and we're moving forward. I think that's got a little bit of a spin. I think affordable housing, which is something I've been trying to work on since 2008, but getting no traction, all of a sudden it's come up as a campaign issue, and I think that's very disingenuous. We all know we need it, but why haven't we done anything on it for 5 years? We talk about all these 120 projects, and they say they're funded. Well, just because there's money in the bank doesn't mean all these 120 projects are funded. I mean, have you seen anything happening at Glen Archer lately? Have you seen what the cost estimate is going to be on that? Haven't heard that. That's surprisingly going to be after the election we find out about it. Look at the firehouse downtown. Was originally supposed to be about $2.1 million. It's now over $6 million. So I think there's some information out there that various people are taking credit for when the staff is really the one who should be getting the credit, and some of the heat is being deflected toward others. So with that being said, if you folks elect me, you can be sure I will continue to ask the tough questions and make sure that there is clarity with anything that happens, and that we know, can we pay for it, and how are we going to get the full project and the maintenance paid for.
One of those questions, and it seems to kind of fall away during the summer when the homeless are not here, but then when they come down the winter, people are more concerned and talk more about the homeless. You and the mayor have had differences on that subject. Yeah,
the mayor says that he's no longer looking at a 24/7 homeless shelter, and maybe he has changed his mind, but I don't see him coming up with anything else that we're going to do to discourage the homeless from coming here, or any other plan. All I keep hearing is, well, we have to find another place to put it. And to me, finding another place to put it, what does he mean by it? Is he still meaning a full functioning thing with services, or does he just mean, as some people have referred to it on the commission, as, what is it, a cot, shower, and something else? Can't remember now.
Yeah,
I believe
tent, a cot, and a shower, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, and I believe that there's a difference, Bill, between the word homeless and what I call the vacationing vagrants, who many of them come and go, and they're definitely not from here. People who are homeless because of job situations, medical situations, family situations, I believe we should help those people all day long. Give them what they need to help them get them back on their feet. But to enable the people who are here taking advantage of those who have worked very hard and are still working very hard, that I think needs strong addressing.
You spoke on the issue last night of the referendum, adjusting the height possibly 4 feet up for folks who want to raise their homes. You expressed misgivings about that.
I do, Bill, because it's very ambiguous the way it's written. It only talks about homes, but then you say, what about businesses? And it says going to a maximum of 40 feet, but in some areas of town, the limit is 25 feet. So it's very unclear. Does that mean that in a 25-foot area, you can go to 40 feet? It's I think Scott Frazier, one of our city staff people, was very genuine in his effort to do something to help those below floodplain. But when you hear of what the cost is to elevate, I don't see a quick payback. We heard Mr. Donald Craig, the city planning director, say, well, yeah, he talked to people and it's $170,000 to raise a concrete block house. Well, very few concrete block houses are two-story. They're in the minority. And if you take a look at $170,000, even without finance charges, that is over $17,000 a year over a 10-year period. So to me, and I have asked Mr. Craig's staff, I want the business case. How many homes does it affect? What is the cost? Does it really benefit the community? And I think there are loopholes in there that people who want to develop would like to use to go higher and have parking. So Sometimes I look at some of the stuff that is said, and it's very disingenuous. Take before when the planning department came out and gave us a list of where the homeless facilities could go, and one of them was the parking lot at St. Mary's School, and another was a Big Coppet Cemetery. Sometimes I think they put information out there just to put people off their track, and I'm going to keep asking the tough questions.
Less than 2 minutes to go here. What can people expect from if you are elected mayor?
If I am elected mayor, I will be responsive. I will not rubber stamp anything, and I will advocate for the community, not special interest. I've heard some people say, she maybe won't compromise. Compromise is one thing, but to rubber stamp and to kowtow to those who have been influential throughout the years, that's something totally different. So, my businesswoman hat will be on, served me well. With my family's small business and my years at IBM, facilitating and getting people to work well was one of the things I've been known for. I'm going to bring those skills, and I'm going to work very closely with city staff because some of them basically haven't been treated as well or listened to as well, just like some of the community hasn't been listened to. And again, folks, please know, listening to people and working together, even though we may start out disagreeing on something, we can usually get to a better idea. And I want more inclusion and more participation from our residents, and yes, even our visitors, to make sure we get a better product for the whole community.
Well, Margaret, we appreciate it. We always congratulate anybody who runs for office down here. It's not easy.
No, it's not. But I'll tell you, I have to give even more kudos to those who are running countywide. That's even tougher.
It is 120 miles to run back
sure
and forth.
Is.
Okay. Margaret Romero, candidate for mayor. You're on the ballot. It's a nonpartisan race for the city voters only.
Correct.
And we'll see what happens Tuesday night. We'll see you there at election returns at the Harvey Government Center.
Absolutely. I'll be there. And thank you, Bill, to everyone who is listening and to you all for having me.
Margaret Romero, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
The official radio station of the Florida Keys, WWUS, Big Pine Key West Marathon, US1 Radio.